Hey, friends, thanks again for tuning in to this daily encouragement. If you've not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, you might want to do that. It'll just make it easier, more convenient to get this content. Today, I want to talk about our calling as Christians to be an encourager. I don't know if you've ever thought about this before, but you have a calling to encourage other people, especially other Christians. In Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24, it's a familiar verse. It says this, "And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as it is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near." So, point number one, you and I have a calling to encourage each other. And so I want you to let that settle in and to think about, because it says this, consider how you can stir each other up to love and good deeds. And so right now you need to be thinking about, okay, I've got people in my life. How can I stir them up to love people more and to do more good? How can I encourage them? Well, one of the things you can do is just share what God's doing in your life. It's what we call a testimony, okay? And so in Psalm 66, the writer there says, come on, let me tell you all the good things God's doing. And he begins to list out all the past and present things that God is doing. And that's what we can do. So if God's doing something good in your life, pick up the phone, call someone and say, I want to tell you what God's doing in my life. Video a few friends, put it on Facebook, do whatever you can. Stir up other people, say, hey, this is what God's doing in my life. And that will stir their affections for God or for others, just like God's doing that in you. So share what God's doing in your life. Don't neglect doing that. The other thing is that it says to stir each other up to love and good deeds. And so there's going to be opportunities for us to be loving and to do helpful things for other people. And we want to encourage each other to do that. Now, in order to do that, it says that we have to gather. And in this context, people were beginning to neglect gathering, and for a very good reason. This church was hard pressed. It was experiencing persecution. And it was just difficult to get together, if not dangerous. And so we're in a season where it's difficult, and I guess you could say, well, more than you could say, it is dangerous to be together. So practicing social distancing is a good idea, and we want to continue that. But there are other ways to gather. We can gather, and like our community groups are, through Zoom, through the use of technology. And now that may be difficult, and it's not the same. Of course it's not the same. But let's not neglect getting together. In fact, it says, but we need to encourage one another all the more as you see the day approaching. Now, what that meant is that as the day of our Lord returning back to us, that persecution and difficulty is going to increase, and that's what's being said here. So as we see the day approaching, as we see difficulty coming, this is even more important that we gather. So let's get over those hurdles of getting together. It's not convenient. It's not the way it used to be. But we have an opportunity to shine, and we have an opportunity to encourage and love one another. And it's more important. It's more important now than it has ever been to encourage each other, to stir each other up to loving good deeds. So here's what you got to do. I want you to consider your call to be an encourager. I want you to think about, what can I do today to encourage someone else? Pick up the phone, send the text, make the post, let people know about what God is doing in your life. And here's the other thing. When there are opportunities to gather within a group, whether it's a really small group where you can practice social distancing, or if it's through technology, man, don't neglect that. It's so important. In fact, it's more important now than it's ever been. God has called us to love each other. God has called us to be a family. God has called us to be together. And we need each other now more than ever. Don't neglect being together. Love you guys.